With the advent of the quartz clock movement, mechanical clocks stopped really being a thing. People will give and get mechanical clocks like from Germany, from the Black Forest, cuckoo clocks specifically from that area. You'll get people that collect old mechanical clocks, but horologists, yes, that's an actual thing. That is a professional clockmaker or you know someone who services clocks. That entire industry is dying. There is one clock shop left in Tampa. It is Boyd Clocks. They've been around for 77 years this year. David Boyd is the owner. His father was a polio survivor, iron lung polio, right? Like, to give you an idea of how long ago this was, Dave is getting to a point where literally people that work there are dying. They're getting so old they're dying. I was being taught to service Le Cultura Atmos clocks, the clocks that literally wind themselves from barometric pressure differentials from a gentleman who died. And outside of Dave, who's very busy, unreasonably busy, the man has more work than he knows what to do with. He's the only person in that shop right now that knows how to service those clocks. Now, maybe that's changed,
Wow.
but when Jerry passed, Jerry was the last in the area that was like a certified Le Cultura Atmos service specialist. That was all that he ever did. He only serviced Le Cultura Atmos clocks. They're beautiful. Dave gifted me one. It's actually funny. It's still at the clock shop because I need to put new glass in it. It functions great, but I need to put new glass in it. By the way, that's like a multi-$1,000 gift to give you an idea. Those clocks are very expensive, even today.
Yes, they are collectors.
So instead of having 15, 20, 30 clock shops in the area, there's one. Their lead time last I was in there was 6 to 9 months. You brought them a clock in 6 to 9 months, that's when it'll be ready. The only reason it takes that long, people. And the amount of you that are out there listening or watching to this show that could likely find a clockmaker or a horologist in your area, go to their shop when you get a chance. Old clocks are basically engineering pornography. It is.
Oh, it straight up.
It is. There's no better way to describe it than awe-inspiring. The way that certain things were done, not just to look pretty, but to be functional, where this form follows function, then function follows form, then a little bit of in between. I've worked on clocks from the 1500s, like where there are blacksmith hammer marks because that's what the blacksmiths did. They improvised, they adapted, they overcame. They looked at how they could go from making horseshoes to now making tower clocks. Now, yes, eventually that was replaced by stamping out wheels, otherwise known as gears. It went from weights hanging on a chain that had the ticking and talking motion of a pendulum was what had those weights slowly drop to a big spring. These are like huge, like 6 foot, 7 foot pieces of spring steel wound up into a tiny little coil. That's where your power came from on clocks. So you no longer had to deal with the weights. But now that we've moved over to digital clock, the people that still do it collect. How did I end up in there? Literally, I can grab a mechanical clock. I didn't wind it today. I could grab a mechanical clock. This is a Baby Ben by West Clocks. It is an alarm clock, so it's got time, strike, all of that, and it's beautiful. It ticks. It's lovely. It sounds great. I like the aesthetic of it, and it's all original. It's beautiful. This is not mine, technically. This is Amber's. This was a gift from somebody at the clock shop to Amber. What's really cool, the entire back, that's the bell.
That's amazing.
That's
I
the
love
bell.
it.
That's the thing that makes noise. There's a hammer that knocks on the backside of the case, and you can see it wiggles because it's somewhat free, because that's the bell that resonates. It's pretty cool. This is
That's pretty cool.
I think it's a 72-hour movement. It literally has a loud and a soft button. Just changes how far back it pulls the hammer to hit the clock. Like, and I keep it on top of my computer. The same way that I keep my first repair ticket from Boyd Clocks, because I believe it is important for us to remember the history of where we came from. Will Boyd Clocks continue to exist once Dave gets to the age of passing? Maybe, maybe not. Will there be newer generations that fill in those voids? Maybe, maybe not. what happens is that they will go online and you'll find these people that want to keep it all alive for the future and for, for the good of the future. And either works or it doesn't. I worry that media is the next thing to go. We're already seeing Sora and these other like movie AIs getting to
They're
the point
scarily
where
good now.
you should never trust anything that you see about any politician ever anymore. If you see
I
videos of
basically do not
politicians,
trust any video.
you
Just it doesn't even need to be a politician. I just don't trust video anymore.
it's going to get so I am waiting for the first like video framing somebody for like a murder that is very like you look at this video and it's them, but
Well,
it's
we've
a
had
deep
the
fake.
opposite. We've had the opposite. I'm not sure you know about this. Somebody made an AI video of a deceased guy. I think it was like a car traffic accident, and the guy died. And he was being sued. His
Oh
state was
yeah,
being
yeah, yeah,
sued,
yeah, yeah. So he could tell
and
his
they
own
made an
story in
AI of the
court.
guy. So the guy said, "I would forgive the other people." Screw you and anyone else who
Still
wants to make an
PG-13.
AI of a dead guy and then do it to try and get out of getting sued.
Yeah, bad news bears. That to me is where we start to blur the line between good and evil. And unfortunately, good and evil in this day and age is very difficult to determine. Like the only thing that I start to trust these days is when I see something and then I see multiple different camera angles of it. Even that is still difficult to trust, but it will get to the point where it is possible to blur the
Mm.
line between real and fake, and we will see more of it.
You want to see unethical? That's unethical.
We need to look at getting politicians all over, not just in the US, but all over, that are educated enough, lawyers that are educated enough to present this in a way that we can get real things done. I believe that people can make their own damn decisions. I believe taxes can be levied for things that matter, but put them to things that matter. But I also sit here and say that I don't like my taxes going to things that don't matter. Now, what I want versus what other people want, don't know. Could we have a program go through the entire book of the government, right? Here in the States and look at financially auditing, having an AI that is a forensic accountant that can financially audit and figure out how the government has such a ridiculous deficit every single year. Take a look at our adversaries versus our allies and look at what type of military spending do we need? How do we, maintain superiority in different areas and not risk losing that? Do we need all of this money? And how do we stop corporations from taking advantage of government contracts? That's where I see AI being valuable. But I do kind of, maybe again, this is the old school part of me. I still kind of want regular people making the decisions. While I would love them to be kind of fact checked by AI and allow them to ask a certifiably politically neutral AI how this will impact people that agree with them and how people disagree with them. That to me would just be incredibly valuable. But unfortunately, I think that politics, especially here in the US, have become so fundamentally self absorbed on the us versus them, right? Whether, like, what side of the barrier are you on for protests? You're just angry at the other people when in reality, you all might agree with each other way more than you think. I firmly believe that we stop a lot of the political violence that we have right now and the problems that we have by just talking across the aisle. But if people are unwilling to do it, if AI is the answer to solve that for us and a way to get them to understand how it affects constituents on the other side of the aisle and gets them to think like actual human beings rather than F you because you don't agree with me, then I'm all for it. But I do want some sort of like, maybe we should step back just a second and review this before we enact it into law. I still want human oversight. And while humans are inherently problematic, we make mistakes. We do things simply because we don't like other people. We are petty. We get angry. We are emotional. I do believe that there is some value to that that the current level of AI doesn't have. Because feeling is, well, as far as it goes in the United States at least, feeling is like 9/10 of the law at this point. And so
I'm glad I asked you that question now, though, because it's something like I do think a lot of people haven't considered yet, and I like those mind games where it's the, "Hey, what if we took this topic and we just pushed it into the limelight just a little bit?"
every now and then, fire yourself from your job.
Oh, I like that. I
And
really
then
like that.
look at what if you were to hire that job out, what would be needed to do that job? If you cannot provide everything that that job needs anymore, either you're not the right person to do it, or you need to split it up. That's what delegation is. Delegation is literally looking at your job duties and saying, this is not the best use of my time. But the way that it was described to me is fire yourself. Because if you stick under the same title and just keep promoting yourself year after year after year, you end up as the owner of a business, as the person that runs the entire operation, not knowing what happens below you. And if you don't know that, how can you fundamentally make the right decisions that move your company in the right direction?
I'm so glad you've said that. The amount of times I've been told by investors, by colleagues, that you want to be hiring people to replace you at all times. You
Yes,
you want to hire somebody to remove aspects of your job, which is a
correct.
good thing. Also feeds into the fact that you are doing less. You are removing yourself from your own business because that is what you want, but it's also the poison that makes you into one of those giant corporations that doesn't know what it's doing at all.
Today, Father's Day being an important one, because my father has taught me that the one thing you can't teach people is how to give a damn. If they don't give a damn, they never will. There is nothing you can do to change it. But the ones that give a damn, they can learn anything. They can learn anything in the world, given the time, the tools, the knowledge, and the right people to help them get there.
We are both in very good positions to capitalize on the benefits and drawbacks
Yeah.
of AI, and just additive in general is in that same position. So anyone who's watching this stream, you are probably in a quite a good position for future-proof safety, at least for the short term.
It's funny, we have one person on our uh our marketing team who is incredibly anti AI. Like very, 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 very like to the point of where I'm like, hey, tone it down just a hair. Like this is not an attack at you personally, right? They're very anti AI. And we have some staff that are very pro AI. And so it's fun to hear both sides of that, hear the good versus the bad, and be able to make a decision of saying, we can use it here, but we can't use it here. We can use it for things that will streamline what we're working on, but we're not going to use it for anything innovative. I think that's cool. I like that. Why it's good to allow people to have opinion. As far as AI and 3D printing, I mean, literally, we don't know. We don't know
It's
where the future
super,
is going.
super early days. But if my thought pattern is right, I think it's going to be a very good, bright future for the industry. A very good future. It's going to democratize the learning. It's going to simplify the slicing, and I
Dude,
legitimately think it's going to help the engineering.
the simplifying the slicing. Oh
So
my God.
nice.
That alone,
That is the one bit that is the most complex bit of all of 3D printing is how to slice effectively.
it's why I tell people to send us 3MF files so I can see if they did something wrong. And then what we always do is we send them back a modified 3MF that we use like from our settings and things that I've done. I am looking forward to real proper implementations of AI. Those that use it to
Oh,
remove paid and skilled labor, shame on you. But those of you that use it to buff and add to the skilled labor that you possess and be able to fill in gaps as you look to hire different skilled labor, A plus, A plus.